got it. And make sure I got it over here too. And done. All right, y'all. Namaste. Hey, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at Northwest of Maxim Howe. Oh, guys, I'd like to welcome you to our AstroCivics Sunday 34, the Holy Koran Devotional Countdown. And right now we're at chapter 40, and I'm here with my magnificent and beloved brother in whom I'm well pleased, and he is...
Islam, peace and love to you all. It always say Hamano, Brother Shana Leem ill. You already know that all is well. Bro, help me out. Por favor, help me.
Ayúdame.
Ayúdame. Right, what was that other appellation, bro? Can you help me out?
Brave heart. Brave heart. Always fun, man. Always fun. Guys, while I do the edit on the fly here, get our thumbnail and description together, I'm going to go on screen share real quick before we go into chapter 40. Chapter 40 only has 17 minutes. All righty. Well, degree 40 has 17 minutes, or like we like to say, 17 verses for chapter 40. All right. And we're going to, reading chapter 40 really made me look in the mirror metaphysically, as well as, actually, and really appreciate, myself more than what it is that I do. Because, we were discussing earlier, man, this is just really about us doing great for ourselves, regardless if people see it or not. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking for the applause and everything. We just know, in order to change people, you must change their literature. So we share things from our studies, and at the end of the day, we trust our loved ones, and those that do, see it, they're able to really reward themselves with, studying sincerely, and provided if something does, come from that in terms of people, getting from us the services that we provide, of course. And when we say services, we're not talking about means and ways to rob you of your birthright. Because in that U.S. corporation, services is ways of robbing you of your birthright. That's what services is, corporately speaking. What we're providing is that which is necessary to assist you in your metaphysical journey in doing self-reflection and knowing yourself. And we have developed tools, form of, you guys either getting reports from us, such as the Mental Magician report, or your AstroLiteracy session. All right. So, and we trust that you guys make prudent decisions in loving yourself accordingly. Those from us. Alrighty, without the pomp and circumstance of getting things based on Negro, Black, colored, woke culture, popularity, BS. What we do is right and exact for you. It's a lot of things that we can do astrologically more than what we show you. Seriously, the point where we can see things going on with your health. We can see things going on like what you probably go throughout for a year or so, or years ahead from now. We can look into years prior and ask, and inquire about things that you experienced then, especially when we have the correct natal time and location, right? We need to have the, as they say in Travelers, the tell, right? The time, elevation, longitude, and latitude, and stop here. That's kind of what it is, sort of, kind of, right? That's what it actually is when you really think about it. The time would be your natal date and time, and the location would actually have, the elevation, longitude, and latitude, right? So we will be able to tell by the tell, right? So let me actually just go over here and share screen. Because I know on Friday, I went in on the Astro Clock towards the end of our presentation Friday for our impromptu improv. And here, while I go and edit on the fly, Brother Sean, I'm going to go in on the Astro Clock here. All righty, guys, because we know culminating is Luna trine Mars That's what's cooking right now. However, Brother Sean's going to go in and let you guys know what it is that he sees. And I guess, once I'm finished doing what I'm doing, maybe I can give a little eyesight on things. Hey, man, do you see what I see, Brother Sean? In the essential dignities table, bro? Whoa, but anyway, I just noticed
Hold
that.
on, whoa.
Yeah, right?
I wasn't even looking at the table now, so whoa.
Yeah. Into upper sunset. Yeah. I yield though, bro. Do your thing, man. That's all.
All right, man, you already know I'm just gonna be short and sweet. Not ramble on, right?
Take your time.
We got Luna, about to make a trine with Mars, so this is just a build up, right? So got about 6 degrees. So about the next 6 hours, maybe 5 to 6 hours, Luna will be making that exact trine. So there's a sense of a new drive and passion for something, for some. Maybe the collective could be experience headaches. And, just feeling an urge to kind of get out and go for it. Luna's in the 2nd, Mars in the 7th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, pardon me, six houses. So there's a sense of service wanting to come to some sort. Maybe someone wants to do something for their loved one, whether that's cooking a nice home cooked meal. And this is all non-statutorily speaking. Maybe running. Some could also maybe have some passion, right? Maybe in some communication, right? Mercury, wow, it's in the 4th house. So we're speaking to you from the home. We're able to give you what's written out in chapter 40, but we're also able to give you our insights. So we able to get the dual nature side of things, and Mercury's in Gemini. So we can expect a lot of communication going on. Want to be more curious about life itself. All right. Saturn's ruling the chart. Saturn is in the 1st house, but we have Pluto rising, right? Going on here, which is, as we know today, went back into Capricorn, right? So I think that's gonna be in there till about, I think we still like January 2024. Roughly about, I think, like December, like sometime in January, Pluto will be going back into Aquarius. So
Gotcha.
I see that folks are going to be very transformed, as we've seen what went on with technology and everything. But now with Pluto back in Capricorn, it's a sense of grounding, unfinished business, and coming back to collect. Once again, what is yours? So if you haven't declared and proclaimed your nationality, say that's a really great time to get back into your sense of authority. As some would try to say, you're claiming your sovereignty, but everyone is sovereign already. It's just a mindset. It's just not, putting some things on some paper. You have to be clear in your mind first so that the spirit aligns with that. So that one can get that higher knowledge and really appreciate the things that have been laid out for us beforehand. Saturn's in Pisces. Also, like I said, rolling over that 1st, but intercepted. So there's a sense of sudden change coming to the home that one might have been waiting on, or having to be forced to make changes. But with Mercury being so strong, it's a great time to really, communicate and do some short travels and some, maybe you can go somewhere to like your local bookstore, or, somewhere that you really enjoy that brings a sense of peace. Maybe even going to that art gallery that some have been putting off or needing to go to. Venus is ruling over that Mercury. Venus is in the 7th. Right along with Mars. So our drive and our beauty, we're just seeing the beauty, and I'm hoping folks are really feeling the love for themselves. And if not, you might have to just take a step back and just see the beauty that's in front of you and also that's within you. Because if the beauty within what we see as reality is not really beautiful, you have to really take a look within and see what's going on in there for that fashion. Mm. Um, yeah, Mercury. That's really cool, man. Mercury's really strong. Got a +11 and mutual reception by face with Jupiter or Guru or Hove, or whatever you like to call it. So our communications and our sense of expansion is, really being brought to the forefront. A lot of maybe ending of cycles here, or opportunities to end cycles with Pluto and Capricorn, and degree of collecting. So maybe collecting on some things that one might have missed back before Pluto made that transition, so that when January comes, one will be ready to fully move forward with this sense of death and rebirth that is occurring. So, getting rid of some projects that I thought it might have been long term, but really not. And there's a sense of home communication, home leadership. So maybe someone stepping up to be an elder or just take care of things within their home for their loved ones. And with that, I'm gonna yield the floor to the bro.
Islam, bro. No, I'm just, I think I got everything in here. It looks like I got it good. Let me make sure. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I got this. Maybe I didn't hit enter. Okay, there we go. And save. All right. Well, bro, I mean, honestly, when I look at what's here in front of me, right? Let me grab this other one real quick so I can share out to all our loved ones on the different platforms. Man, spot on. It's funny how Saturn is chart ruler, only with, +1 dignity by being in its own face, actually, while in Pisces. And of course, in the first house, right? Along with, it's interesting too to see with Pluto in the first. So it really speaks to like some essential transformations, or a means for us to inherit disciplines, inherit some self-discipline. And 29 degrees, as you mentioned, is the degree of collecting, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct for 29 degrees Capricorn? Am I remembering that correctly?
Degree of collecting.
So with Saturn in its own face, right? Basically giving a presentation to honestly collecting oneself and the transformations that are necessary, right? And when one collects themselves, they're really taking an inventory pertaining to themselves, reflecting appropriately. Pluto does deal with death and rebirth, and that's what the transformation ultimately is. One would see when one is transformed, they are also inheriting the qualities pertaining to improvement. If you would think of one going from being a caterpillar to a butterfly, metaphysically speaking, the butterfly has died to being a caterpillar. However, the caterpillar has now inherited the qualities in being a butterfly. So what we can do here also with, of course, we see Aquarius and Leo, their axis are, for, a few moments in time here, they're intercepted within the first and seventh houses. So Saturn and Uranus ruling over the first house with Saturn and Pluto there just really lets you know there's going to be some that's necessary. It could be electrifying to you as far as the neurons in your brain are concerned. It really allows some sudden changes for yourself to actually occur. And just making sure you're looking for the best in that transformation, right? Not, being upset and wallowing about no longer being a caterpillar and now complaining about getting the strength to your wings, being a butterfly to get, so that you can fly strongly. What one can do is just be able to see the qualities that are there for themselves so that they can actually take transformation that's necessary in the sudden changes, such as we see in the ascendant now, no longer at 29 degrees. Capricorn is at 0 degrees. Aquarius, and counting, you guys can see this chart is in motion. All right. So with that being said, you can allow yourselves to really just, share collectively while collecting yourself with the transformation that's taking place. Allow the discipline within yourself to be necessary, because soon you will have to take the values that are instituted from this change and be able to be active and driven in instituting different yet necessary behaviors. And Brother Sean said, with Venus ruling the fourth house, right, as well as the ninth, we can really secure ourselves in some higher learning activity, which is what we're about to take on now as we go into chapter 40 for our AstroCivics Sunday 34, the Holy Koran Devotional Countdown. Venus is just coming off of like homicide degree, which was 5 degrees. And at about 5 degrees is where Luna was trying with that Venus, as it, so Luna separating from its trine with Venus while applying to its trine with Mars. With the sun ruling the 7th house, the 5th in accidental dignity, allow your brothers to shine some light creatively and bring center stage the things that are necessary for us to see when analyzing chapter 40. With Mercury ruling over where the sun is while under Venus' positorship and ruling the 8th house, what will really be brought to the forefront of people's minds, along with Prophet Noble Drew Ali being there for those of us that are sincere, true Moorish American, we will be able to see the communication necessary in further securing ourselves and getting the spiritual nutrition and the spiritual nourishment necessary for us to be able to value how to actively have that fated interaction with ourselves in our self-reflection, especially when reading chapter 40. As we're doing this countdown, we're able to reflect on previous chapters from 48 to 41. And you guys will see the beauty in what it is. Just how we see what it is for ourselves in analyzing such a beautiful, beautiful, divinely prepared text that has been divinely prepared by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So let's move forward, right? I mean, that's where we're going. Brother Sean, do you have anything else to add there, bro? As I go and collect this link real quick.
No, it's going to be another good chapter. And I think folks will really start to appreciate some things after today's chapter.
Islam. Let me go and share this out to our lawful living loved ones. I guess I'll share it out into Facebook world also. All right, just a couple of groups that's there on Telegram I'll be sharing too. The beauty in it's the instability of man is what chapter 40 is. And man, so the instability pertaining to mind. And I think that instability occurs when one is not exerting reason and being prudent. Is there because there's a few words to 40 that we could actually look over etymologically, right? Like I know it's a few of them right in verse 1. It's like you just kind of pop, 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 pop. In minute 1 for degree 40. But instability. I know some people are like, well, we know what instability is, but let's really look at the etymology. Well, because in would be the prefix for not. And stability would be the state or quality in one being stable. So not having the quality and being stable. What's the etymology for stable? You got that, Brother Sean?
Man, you already know, bro.
Well, let me stop the screen share here.
All right, you see it?
Oh yeah, I definitely see it. Wow, really? That's the first word in degree 40, man. Inconstancy. Instability. Hold on. Instabilitate. Nominative instabilitas. Unsteadiness, from instabilis, unsteady. Not firm. Inconstant. Fickle, from the prefix in, or where it says in hyphen, that means prefix. In, not, opposite of. See in as the prefix from the first sentence. Stabilis, see stable. Click on stable, bro. I'm interested. Building, from the early 13th century. Building or enclosure where horses or cows are kept. Building for domestic animals, end quote. From Old French, stable, stable, quote, a stable, stall, end quote. Modern French, étable. Also applied to cowsheds and pigsties, from Latin stabulum, quote, a stall, fold, aviary, beehive, lowly cottage, brothel, etc., end quote, literally, quote, a standing place, end quote. From Proto-Indo-European stedtio, stedtio, that's what it says. Suffix form, forgive me, of root sta, where you get stit from, stand, make or be firm. And it's interesting because I know when you read horses or cows, sometimes in metaphysics, one who has a wild spirit or soul could be like that, could be like horse. Unstable wild horses longing for the Preakness, right? And interestingly, when one has themselves, being firm, being stable, then you have the wildness. Because animal, when it says like for like animals, anima is Latin for spirit. So animal would be that which is descended from spirit. So when people are saying one is animalistic, it's that you have something descending from your spirit that's not firm, unable to be still. Peace, be still. I yield, bro. Intemperance. I yield to you.
Indeed, intemperance. Noun, early 15th century, quote, lack of restraint, excess, end quote, also of weather, and inclemency, severity. From Old French, intemperance, 14th century, and directly from Latin, intemperatia, intemperateness and moderation, excess, as an intemperability and moderate use of wine. From in, not opposite of, see, in, right? Temperature, moderation, sobriety, discretion, self-control. From temperance, present participle of temporary, to moderate. See, temper.
Wow, like tempered glass. Interesting.
Temper. Late Old English, temperian. Quote, to moderate, bring to a proper or suitable state, to modify some excessive quality, to restrain within due limits, end quote. From Latin, temporary, quote, observe proper measure, be moderate, restrain oneself, end quote. Also transitive, quote, mix correctly, mix in due proportion, regulate, rule, govern, manage. This is often described as from Latin tempus, quote, time, season, see temporal, with a sense of, quote unquote, proper time or season. But as the root sense of tempus seems to be, quote, stretch, the words in, quote unquote, restrain modified sense might be from a semantic shift from stretching to measuring. Compare temple, meaning to make steel, hard and elastic, is from late 14th century. Sense of, quote unquote, tune the pitch of a musical instrument is recorded from circa 1300.
Interesting.
And then, so we'll look at one more. You already know we gotta go to, I ain't showing it no more. All right, vanity, circa 1200. Quote unquote, that which is vain, futile, or worthless, from Old French vanity. Quote, self-conceit, futility, lack of resolve, end quote. Circa, 12th century, from Latin, vanitatum, nominative vanitas, quote, emptiness, aimlessness, falsity, end quote. Figuratively, vainglory, foolish pride, from vanus, empty, void. Figuratively, wow, quote unquote, idle, fruitless, from Proto-Indo-European, wandel, suffix form of root ui, quote, to leave, abandon, give out. Meaning, quote unquote, self-conceited in English is attested from mid-14th century. Vanity Table is attested from 1936. Vanity Fair is from, quote unquote, Pilgrim's Progress, 1678.
Interessante. Man. Self-conceit, futility, worthless. Not, that's low self-esteem then. To estimate one's self lowly, so low that it's worthless. Interessante. So a pilgrim's process would be vain. Let me stop. Ooh, you foreigner, you peregrinus, pilgrim. All right. Interessante. Right? Well, with that being said, bro, and these are some of the first words you guys want to come across when we go into chapter 40 right here. All right. So that's why we just kind of showing you these things etymologically so you're clear on what they are. All right. The verb despair, to lose hope, be without hope. That's from the mid 14th century, so about the 1350s. Right? Despairing, from Old French, despair, right? Stressed stem of desperer, quote, be dismayed, lose hope, despair, end quote. From Latin, desperare, quote, to despair, to lose all hope, end quote. From de, quote, without, end quote. See de, the prefix, plus sperare, to hope. Like in Moorish Latin, hope would be esperanza. So when you see, different tales or fables or presentations, and a woman's appellation is esperanza. It's like saying hope. All right. Sperare, to hope. From space, hope. From Proto-Indo-European root space, Prosperity. Look at that. Look at that. See, speed. Wow. Wow. So when one is ran off the road and given a speeding ticket, you're given a ticket for prospering too quickly. So here's a ticket because you're not in despair. Here's a citation, complaint, and summons because you're not in despair, desperate for prosperity. You're prospering too fast. Don't you be getting prosperity so quickly. In despair, the noun is hopelessness, total loss of hope. This from around the 1300s where it says circa 1300. So guys, don't forget, C period before the year means the Latin around the time about circa. When you see the C period after the number, like when we looked in the adverbial sense where it says mid-14th C, it's saying 14th century, which is mid-1300s. So when the C is after the number, it's talking about the century. When the C is before the number, it's talking about around the actual year. From Anglo-French, d'espérer, Old French, d'espoir. From d'espérer, see despair, the verbial sense. The native word has one hope. Oh, pardon me. The native word was one hope. Like waning hope. Like when the moon is waning, it's losing its light. So it's like waning hope. Interesting. Despair naturally destroys courage and stops all effort. May produce a new kind of courage and fierce activity founded upon the sense that there is nothing worse to be feared. And this despair is akin to desperation, which is an active state and always tends to produce a furious struggle against adverse circumstances, even when the situation is utterly hopeless. And that's from the Century Dictionary, 1897. All righty, bro. Ready to knock this out?
That's good.
All righty. Sharing screen here. Taking it right there. All right. And what we're going to do is Brother Sean is going to lead us into our invocation in. He's going to lead us in. All righty. And first and foremost, just to let you guys know, this is the Moor Temple of Science Administrative Functions, pages 48 and 49. And there on page 48, handsomely standing due guard in his Moor Sharif says his prophet, noble true Ali, founder, right? Pertaining to the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, adopting as its corporate name, its religious corporate act name, Moorish Science Temple of America. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to face east and have our feet just like Prophet Noble Drew Ali there on a 45. However, we're going to have all 5 appendages on the left hand extended and just the index in the middle on the right. And we're going to face directional east, which is symbolic to facing. Directional east, which is symbolic to facing metaphysical east, which is going within. And you can repeat after Brother Sean either aloud or in your heart. Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love. Truth.
Peace.
Freedom.
And justice.
Allah
is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
And
my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Noble Drew Ali.
Ameen. It's long. It's long. So, let me get back in my seat here. All right, guys. So, I'm going to go to pages 84 and 85. In the same book, you guys can get the Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions from rbbaypublications.com. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day of January 1928, Anno Domini. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Administrative functions, as I said, the book we're reading from, Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office 3603 Indiana Avenue, Noble Drew Ali founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting, dear brother Islam. I'm glad to know that I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me in the movement now by the same people of our side, same people of our side of the nation. They claimed it was only a joke and unreal, but now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and the uplifting funds, the ones that paid their divine respect to me, and the movement will be remembered. That's why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finances badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my, quote, fame and nobility, end quote. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali. And now we're on to the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper, here on page 12 and 13. And again, handsomely standing due guard in his Moorish shirt, fez, and a buck is Prophet Noble Drew Ali on page 12. And on page 13, Brother Sean Aline L. is going to go in on the divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Pardon me, not the divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Those two different documents, right?
Islam. Divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple of the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
That's wow. And as promised, guys, we're here at chapter 40, right? XL, 10 subtracted from from 50, right? And you see XL, X is 10, X is 10, L is 50. So when it's written like that, it's like saying 10 away from 50, which is 40. Holy instructions from the prophet, the instability of man. Brother Sean is going to read, and I'm going to be getting my ha ha. Yeah, I'm
We
serious.
serious, Moor.
So I'm going to be ad-libbing here. All righty. And so I yield to our beloved brother, and whom we're well pleased, Brother Shanamin El Islam.
Islam. Yeah, girl. All right, here we go. Holy instructions from the prophet. The instability of man or mind. 1. Inconstancy is powerful in the heart of man, and temperance swayeth whither it will. Despair engrosseth much of it, and fear proclaimeth, quote, behold, I sit unrivaled therein, end quote. But vanity is beyond them all.
So if you go back and look into what we just did and going over the etymology of the different words, inconstancy, intemperance, despair, vanity, you guys can be able to, substitute synonyms accordingly and get the metaphysical fruit out of that which is there, right? One who is not stable, one who allows, illusion, because power is an illusion. Force is what's realistic. Power is an illusion. So inconstancy is full of illusion in mind's center, and the center pertaining to the mind. So we want to be firm and constant instead of inconstant, so that we can use the force that comes with being reasonable, exerting reason, exercising reason, and being prudent for all our resolutions. And to be intemperate, we already saw, right? Also shows a lack in being firm, and that will allow you, to have your mind swayed. However, the inconstancy within the mind will allow it, the mind to be swayed. Because as you think, so you'll be. So if you think intemperately, you'll be intemperate in your actions. That's why it's best to exert reason and be prudent, right? So, wow, despair engrosses much of the inconstancy, and fear proclaims that, it's unrivaled within the inconstancy. So within the heart of inconstancy, it seems like it's fear, allowing false evidence to appear real to yourself. But vanity is beyond all of those. Hey, yo, bro.
Islam. Weep not, therefore, at the calamities of the human state. Rather, laugh at its follies.
And that's funny because, shout out to my beloved mother, mistress, consort, whom I'm well pleased. I'm like, babe, I respectfully saying, we embodying the Quran. Because a lot of things, when beings do things, usually at first I thought it was like a defense mechanism. However, reading chapter 40, it's like, I really do find things hilarious, because it allows me to not, put too much meaning on the human state pertaining to mind, the human mind state, which allows me not to take things personally as much as I possibly can. You know what I mean? Because why take things personally when state has in the first 3 letters stop, which means to stand. So how humans stand based on their mindset. If it's inconstant, then the follies are laughable. Because at least laughter will keep you light-hearted. In the
hands of the man or mind addicted to vanity, life then is but the shadow of a dream.
wow.
The hero, the most renowned of human character, what is he but the bubble of this weakness? The public as unstable and ungrateful.
The public is unstable, which means there are a bunch of beings within the stable, that's the body, that have energies descended from their spirit and has their soul running wild like horses and cows. Unstable and ungrateful for what's being brought to them. And this is one of the main reasons why I and my brothers, first and foremost, are only speaking to sincere Moorish Americans, true and faithful Moorish Americans, and any other beings that are on this path pertaining to metaphysics. However, us being Moorish American means that what we've done is studied what's necessary to declare and proclaim being Moorish American. And it's not being done just to be seemingly a part of some group that tends to get this type of benefit and or outcome. That's not what it is. It has everything to do with us going within and embracing our metaphysical journey, as we're even sharing in our analysis now pertaining to chapter 40. Are you?
Why should the man or mind of wisdom endanger himself for fools?
That's why we're only talking to true and faithful Moors. Because if you're not that, you're fools. So why should I, Brother Sean, Brother Corey, Brother Terrell, why should we, and why? Why should we, being minds pertaining to wisdom, endanger ourselves for the inconstant, for the unstable, for the vain? Respectfully. I yield.
The man or mind who neglecteth his present concerns to revolve how he will behave when greater, feedeth himself with wind, while his bread is eaten by another.
So to revolve how you'll behave, as if you've made it and you've arrived. Wind is something you can feel, but you can't capture, nor can you eat wind. So it's just like having mental masturbation about something that you could have been a lot more realistic in the moment about finding resolution. So when one lacks having present resolution, it is likened unto someone else being able to feed themselves by being reasonable, because to be unreasonable is to be miserable. So those that are eating are being reasonable. All right. Are you?
Act as becometh thee in thy present station, and in more exalted ones thy face shall not be ashamed.
Yeah,
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Back again, station is again stop, right? So how you are presently standing act as becomes ye in your present standing, right? So you won't be looking all ashamed when you get promoted or raised on high. You won't have to look like someone who knows deep down you don't deserve it. I yield.
What blindeth the eye, or what hideth the hearts of a man from himself, like vanity? Lo, when thou seest not thyself, then others discover thee most plainly.
Again, vanity is worth being worthless. So what blinds the eye or what hides the heart pertaining to a mind from himself like worthlessness? So when you don't see your own worth, others can see that plainly. It's another word for this would be um another term or phrase would be lacking self-respect. Again, spect to see. Lacking self, again, seeing. See what? Yourself, your current station, your present station. Hey, yo, bro, Islam. This one's interesting.
As the tulip that is gaudy without smell, conspicuous without use, so is the male who sitteth himself up so high and hath not merit.
Yeah, and now I know, and you guys check your Quran, you'll see male, MAIL, and you'll see hot not. So I just wanted to put those things. I was like, man, I can still see the metaphysics in this, because if we look at ourselves being immaculately conceived by the thought pertaining to mother, and then allowing herself to father us forth by picking a son to defibrillate the ovum moored to the endometrium, which lines her uterus, awaiting to be defibrillated by the spermatogenic fluid termed sperm, right? I'm looking at that like, wow, that's the word. Because if you think of male can be looked at in two ways. You send through the postal stream words. And in the beginning was the word was with God, the word was God, and the word became flesh. God is to call upon. And that's what you do. You communicate through the mail. Mail is also a type of protection over the clothes of a knight, yet under his armor, likened unto almost like a Kevlar vest. So it would be like this chain linked type of armor that was under the actual armor, which should sort of kind of mitigate a little bit if one was to be stabbed or another forceful projectile went through their armor. It would help to mitigate penetration as much as possible. But you see, so is the word who sits himself up high and hot, not married. And people be like, you're getting closer, you're getting warm. Oh, you hot, yeah. Like you're right there, you're right on it. So the hot, not married, is just me observing it myself and what I'm getting from it by going through my metaphysical journey. And this is when I go to sit amongst myself, not on, YouTube. I'm just sharing. I am Brother Sean. When I'm there by myself reading the Quran, this is me meeting Prophet Noble Drewi in his literature. And any other metaphysician that I can think of where I'm imagining being able to have this great meeting with them and analyzing these words to continue to edify myself appropriately, and better continuing and building my character. Because again, the instruction is, dear fathers, by these lessons, you can set your house in order. and your little ones will learn to love instead of hate. So I just wanted to go in on that on 7. Like 7, it could be looked at, even if it's looked at like a typographical error, one could still see the beauty in it if it was. And then I looked at it too, where I like, let me see what happens when I put male like that and half, So that's just editorial notes. I'm not saying that I'm correcting the Quran as much as I was just having a moment of clarity within myself. All right. Ayoko, number 8. That's one.
The heart of the vain is troubled, while it seemeth content. His cares are greater than his pleasures.
No future in front. That's what it's saying there. Go ahead, Ayoko.
His solicitude cannot rest with his bones. The grave is not deep enough to hide it. He extendeth his thoughts beyond his being. He bespeaketh praise, to be paid when he is gone, but whosoever promiseth deceiveth him.
Yeah, your worries and your anxiety, because solicitude would be like anxiety, etymologically speaking, cannot rest with his bone. The grave isn't deep enough to hide it. He extends his thoughts beyond his being, right? So in other words, one could be thinking about immortality. However, if he's being vain, he's already lost his being because he deemed himself worthless by being vain. And to speak praise, to be paid when he's gone. It's like, whoa, like you have to wait till you die to sell the most records?
When I die, I put my money in the grave.
Like, what? Bury you in the Gucci store? Anyway. All he went for his birthday is a Bigfoot. Anyway.
However, and whosoever,
yeah. And whosoever promises that you're going to get paid after you are no longer around to enjoy it is basically proving that they can see how worthless you are as you are actually here walking your ancestral estate. So why be vain when people think your worthiness is when you are no longer incarnate? I yield, bro. Number 10.
as the man or mind who engageth his wife to remain in widowhood, that she disturb not his soul. So is he who expecteth that his praise shall reach his ears beneath the earth, or cherish his heart in its shroud.
So, like, yeah, girl, if I transition, you better stay a widow. Don't you get that coochie to nobody else. So that don't disturb my soul. Again, vanity, instability. So, it's also to be vain to expect that praise reach your ears once you are. It's funny because earth is heart, again, with the H transposed to the N. So beneath the heart, think about that, just Ayurvedically speaking, what's beneath the heart, right? You got the stomach, the intestines, right? Things that allow you to digest, right? Even though people would also say, and your bowels, and to be buried in the earth would come, for some after they are buried in the earth. You see what I'm saying? They're no longer able to hear, or however, that's what happens when one speaks. What did it say? Where one extends his thoughts beyond his being in number 9. Or you now want the widow to stay a widow once you're gone. It's technically not fair to her. She's served her duty. Be it that she's honorable. Or you want, or want for you to cherish his heart while it's in his shroud. Shroud would be like the white cloth that would cover a body that's no longer housing spirit and soul. So a body no longer animated by spirit and soul. It's funny too. Animate has the Latin anima in its root. There it is again, the Latin spirit. So in Latin, the word spirit is anima. So you put TE at the end of anima, you got animate. All right. So after the body is all covered up and in the tomb with the stone rolled over the entrance, it's like, y'all better still talk about me and praise me when I'm gone. Vanity. Again, that's one who extends his thoughts beyond his being. There you go, bro. Number 11.
Do well whilst thou livest, but regard not what is said of it. Content thyself with deserving praise, and thy posterity shall rejoice in hearing it.
Well, yeah, man, do well while you're here. But don't sit there and pay attention to what people say. You see what I'm saying? So you don't get the big head or get depressed if people ain't fucking with you. Okay, cool. You know you're doing well, right? That's all that matters, right? Content yourself with deserving praise. So be content with that, right? And the little ones that come after you, that's what posterity is. I want people getting prosperity and posterity mixed up. Posterity are the ones that descend after you. The little ones that come after you, the heirs and heirs apparent. And they shall rejoice in hearing about you instead of you hoping that you can hear people talking about you while you've transitioned already. The ones that should be rejoicing hearing about you is not you, it should be your posterity. Because now they'll be proud of the legacy that you've left for them to be able to shape their character after, as an example. There you go, bro. Number 12.
As the butterfly who seeth not his own colors, as the jasmine which feeleth not the scent it casteth around it, so is the man who appeareth gay, and biddeth others to take note of it.
In other words, yeah, man, like you appear happy. And when they're saying gay here, we know one who is appearing elated and happy and like he has no worries, right? And bids others to take note of it, right? That one that could be looked at as vanity, but it also could show you that the only way for people to recognize how great you are is for you to not see it yourself. Why be vain about it? Let others speak about how great you are. Right? So it's a dual-edged sword in the perspectives there. Right? So is the man who appears gay and bids others to take note of it. Right? So it's like, instead of being vain, like, yo, I'm great, son. Make sure you know what I mean? Make sure you're in harmony with my thoughts that extend beyond my being. But he could, in a positive and honorable and humble sense, be like, hey, man, I'm content with the way that you guys are seeing me. I'm very humbled and I appreciate you all. You know, just make sure that, you know, once I transition, make sure you let the little ones that come after me know that this is what I want for them to be able to form their character so they can take the legacy on and be greater. Right? Yeah.
Quote unquote. To what purpose?
Basically.
Saith he. Is my vesture of gold? To what end are my tables filled with dainties, if no eye gaze upon them? If the world knows it not, end quote. Give thy raiment to the naked, and thy food unto the hungry. So shalt thou be praised, and feel that thou deservest it.
Exactly. So if you've been given all this finance and you're able to have food beyond what you can actually have for you and your loved ones, then make sure you assist those that need the assistance. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so your goal can get clothes for others, right? And you can feed people that are hungry. So that's why I said when it comes to what Seven Hill Star is about, once we get to that point where we know, like, oh, hey, man, look, we have this abundance here. We have to do what we have to do. Let's get this land. Let's build what we know we've discussed so that we can, start having more communities based off of that first one. Boom, got that first one. Let's have the second one here. Let's just keep building and let's keep inspiring others to make sure they have their Moorish community and have standards set to establish and maintain them, even though the whole planet is that for us. However, what I'm saying is so that it can better cultivate the minds pertaining to our posterity so that we can maintain the honor in our culture without it having to be disrespected and scattered and only practiced amongst people in secret or amongst their own groups while trying to treat our posterity as if they are undesirables. Are you?
All right. And that's also that when you do good, don't record it so that you can add to the praise. That also comes with that too. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna donate to this homeless guy, but let me take this selfie so that I can post it so that everybody can see what I'm doing. Just do it without having to try to get some external source. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? And of course, somebody's gonna see it. And if even nobody sees it, the universe, whatever you want to call it, sees it, and thou shalt be praised by that and deservest of that. Mm. All right, continuing. 14. Why bestoweth thou in every man the flattery of unmeaning words? Thou knowest, when returned thee, thou regardest it not. He knoweth he lieth unto thee, yet he knoweth thou wilt thank him for it. Speak in sincerity, and thou wilt hear with instruction.
Yeah, no point in wanting, ain't no point in wanting to hear BS from people, and they don't really like you. They don't really fuck with you, right? And you know they don't. You know they lying, but and they know that they lying, but they just know that you can be like, hey, like how some people come into the different lives we do. They only show up knowing that we're gonna read the chat, so that they can feel like they've been acknowledged. When really, at the end of the day, they don't really probably wish the best for us. However, it is what it is. That's why we speak in sincerity, so that we can be clear to hear with instruction. And, we're not seeking negativity from anyone or thinking anyone is doing it. I'm just saying, for example, from experience, some people only show up just so they could be, acknowledged verbally on a live, because people still kind of have that. Oh, look, that guy's on stage and he recognized me, or these beings are on stage and they looked at me and pointed and said my name or appellation. It is what it is. That's not why we're saying it, though. We're saying it because we're being sincere about interacting. You guys are interacting in the chat. Cool, we're interacting with you. You be sincere. That's great, because we're going to be sincere, period, and don't care if you fuck with us or not. Actually, really don't. But at the end of the day, the lessons are the lessons, and this is what we're here to share in our charge. In order to change the people, you must change their literature. I yield, bro. We have 3 more to go. I yield. Number 15.
Islam. Right. The vain delighteth to speak of himself, but he seeth not that others like not to hear him. So, yo, man, will this motherfucker shut up about talking about himself? Why does he constantly gloat about him? Like, nobody wants to hear that.
Like the fuck off. Seriously.
All right, 16. If he hath done anything worth praise, if he possesseth that which is, man, I'm gonna get Mike Tyson on live. I'm like, Mike Tyson, bro. Say possesseth. No. Bro, read this verse this minute, right?
No, but, you was right. You was right though. You said it right. That's funny though. You said it right though.
Funny. But right. So starting back over, if he have done anything worth praise, if he possesseth that which is worthy of admiration, his joy is to proclaim it, his pride to hear it reported. The desire pertaining to such a mind defeateth itself. Minds say not, quote, behold, he hath done it, end quote, or see, he possesseth it. But, quote unquote, mark how proud he is of it.
Right. So, in other words, they only want to see you stick your chest out from the compliments you get and be like, look at this guy. He's an idiot. His chest is all out because it's like, they're like, oh, brother, you're so good. Whatever. It is what it is. When people are sincere, what do we do, Brother Sean? Man, gratitude indeed. We appreciate you and we trust that you're able to enjoy the lessons and benefit from them accordingly. I yield, bro. Islam.
The heart of man or mind cannot attend at once to, the heart of man or mind cannot attend at once to too many things. He who fixes his soul on show loseth reality. He who fixes his soul on show loses reality. He pursueth bubbles. It's like, hey, nephew, hey, blow them bubbles real quick. I want to chase those, right? He pursueth bubbles, which will break in their flight, while he treads to the earth what would honor him.
Yep, too busy. Like, there's nothing wrong with your head to the sky, but when you're chasing bubbles, that which is floating and fleeting away from you and will pop the higher they get, that which will actually honor you, right? You're stepping over it or stepping on it. So don't fix your soul on looking like something. Even though Prophet Noble Drew Ali said Moors look your best, he wasn't saying it for Moors to be vain. Bro. So don't just...
I hope the Prophet said that it's a photo shoot. No.
Yeah, don't just look like you're Moorish American. Actually be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing to have, your fez and your badges. Those should be marks pertaining to what is actually within you. Because even without them, you should still be able to be sincere. You should be able to be a true and faithful Moor. All right. Let's check the chat, bro. Let's see what's going on there. I know we yield from that lesson, man. All right. Let's go and see what we got going is on. All right, in the chat. Take it on back. All right. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Let me turn this down. All righty, let's see who all showed up today. JLV says namaste. Peaceful greetings, everyone and all. She also says I you to me. We was Saying that in the beginning. Mother Sahar says, peaceful greetings, Brother Hasan and Brother Sean, and to everyone in the chat. Peace and love indeed, Mother Sahar. Mother Janelle Blash L says, good evening, Islam. Mother Janelle. Mother Tyro says, peace and love, everyone. Peace and greetings to you also. JLB says, requesting prayer, please, for the unlawful illegal auction sale tomorrow of their private property. Wow. Public notice of clouded title and notices of aiding and abetting to all participating. It sounds like there's someone else who has a lawsuit that they're going to have to like really push.
May they all drop respectfully.
Yeah, seriously. Whoever they are, sheriffs and all, they really, I'm serious. Like,
yeah, at this point, yeah.
You already know what I'm really thinking, bro.
Yeah. I'm right
You
there
know what I'm
with you.
saying? Let them really anywhere on the planet, people dealing with, their property being taken because of what lawyers have wrote for beings who don't read and then go along with it. Because a lot of people should be getting hung or shot in the head by those that sincerely know the law. That's why building a relationship with military police, I think, is a must. And that's to really see if military police will really stand for what they
Even honor their own stuff, yeah.
Yeah, have they been sold? Are they sold out? Have they been bought?
Right.
Because there's going to be a new era in time. It's going to be some bloodshed. Honestly. Melissa Hart says, sending positive vibrational energies of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice to you, JLB. And she said, JLB says, sincere appreciation, Melissa Hart. And they are giving the gratitude hands, Melissa Hart and Brother Derek Bey. So does JLB is saying gratitude to Brother Derek. JLB says, Obi-Wan Kenobi when we talk about Wan Hope or waning hope, I'm right. It's interesting. The Dark Black Space says to be with oneself and know and be okay. Indeed. And Brother 7, Judah Balabe says Islam you brother. So with that being said, guys, we're going to yield here. However, we're going to do our invocation out. I'm going to lead us out with the invocation out. All righty. Just stand, take my time standing up here. All righty. And guys, we're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left, just 2 on the right, have our feet on a 45-degree angle. We're going to face east, directional east, which is metaphysically symbolic to going within. You can repeat after me either aloud or in your heart. Islam. Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My God.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through a holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen. I'd like to thank you all both so much for joining us. Guys, make sure you rest and recharge well. Brother Dark Black Space says peace, everyone. And we thank you all both so much. And we trust very soon, in the very near future, we will be able to show you the manifestation pertaining to that which we are to build for Moorish community, and being very strict in vetting those that would be there. Because at first it just sounds like for us to just make sure we have what it is that we have for our loved ones. Because there's no tolerance for beings that are plants from organizations seeking to try to like infiltrate or some things like that. So I'm pretty sure that people will be vetted, you know. However, we're going to do what is necessary for our posterity and to do what's needed based on these lessons provided by Prophet Noble Ali and the mission to help Prophet Noble Ali in his mission, right? To bring our people back into the constitutional fold pertaining to government, all right? TLB says, wonderful lessons. Peace be with y'all indeed. And I trust whatever is necessary and whatever's on your spirit to be able to handle that situation, JLV. Or you already know, every day in court with them as they do whatever and just sue, and just work on making sure your suit is tight, all righty, so that you can be able to have justice for you and your loved ones, all right? And with that, this is where I am, Brother Sean. Say to you all, namaste, namaste, namaste. Catch us next day for Intuition Monday, right? What is it that we're going in on Intuition Monday?
See, it's with the close out 11:11. If you look at that JLV, you'll be all good.
Indeed.
Let me look real quick. What's it? June? What's tomorrow? The 12th? Gemini new moon.
Gemini new moon. We love you all. Rest and recharge well. See you for Intuition Monday for the Gemini moon. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace and love.
Peace, bro.